Hey rivals, welcome to Back's Attacks. Tonight it is Nature Night in the daily campaign, and thanks to a little luck in the nature chest, I'm able to show a first look at Amani. Amani's a very interesting ancient, gets neglected along with Siku and Moloch, but really she's got some interesting spells, and the recent update made a very nice buff to her that made her a lot more usable, I think. Alright, the first spell lasts pretty long, about 8 seconds or so, and it reflects back a minor bit of damage and gives you immunity to the green crippling poison towers. The Entangle spell binds at a defensive structure, dealing some decent damage and preventing it from attacking, but here's the change they made in the update that's great. If the building falls while under this effect, it refunds the full 10 mana. That's huge. Third spell, Restoration, does some pretty good healing over a few seconds and also gives you immunity to the purple curse towers. I have a modest amount of nature here. Not quite sure where I'm going to spend it all, but definitely would like to get some levels on Amani, especially to use that second spell. So I think I'm going to aim to get her up to about level 16, and we'll use 10 and some 5s here and see where that gets us. That'll put us somewhere in the mid-teens, I think. And there we go, 16 right off the bat. Well, that's good to know. That was 30,000 plus the bonus. Alright, you can see how the spells increase, about 300 damage now instead of 200, some more healing, and some greater length on the first spell. Alright, so let's jump right into the arena and see what we can do. This is a Stronghold 13. The spell towers can cause some real trouble here. There's Insanity Freeze and 2 fire ones. There's also, unfortunately for her, a fair amount of free buildings and free mana. And when you have an ancient that relies on the higher spells and frequent use of them, this is what you really want to see. So we're definitely going to grab all the free mana we can up front, using Malice as our dragon here. And I've got 2 paladins, 3 soldiers, and some maulers for this. We may use a little bit of the first spell, but I'm going to try to make most benefit of the Entangle. Now if you have enough mana, you can even have multiple Entangles going. Checking there, they last 7 seconds and the building has to die within that time frame for you to get your mana back. Alright, so we've got tons of free mana up here. I think we're ready to start our charge. Spread out the troops just a little bit with that fire nearby. And we'll get a Thorn Shield up to protect from some damage. And with the Entangle, if you are right next to a defense and it's going to go down, there's no disadvantage in casting it right away. It's going to do some damage and you're going to get all the mana right back. Alright, let's see if we can distract some spell towers. And then continue with the Entangle. Alright, pretty good so far. You see the mana flying back all the time there. And we're just going to use that one repeatedly. Alright, we're getting near that Insanity Tower now, unfortunately, and the Freeze one. If the troops just survive, I think they'll take the Stronghold, so that's why we got the Thorn Shield up there, and there it goes. And so now we'll just use Entangles. It's a really good cleanup spell. Anytime the troops get near a defense, you just spawn multiple Entangles and get your mana back. Alright, so that's pretty good. First attack with Amani. And we'll jump back into the arena for another one. And, Fire Element. There's Thou. Very nice person and a nice player, but I think this base is also a nice example of a base that you want to go after with a ancient like Amani. Again, it's got a nice assortment of spell towers. It's very dangerous in the core, but there is a lot of free mana on the outside, a lot of gold on the outside as well. I think the hope here is that the players will focus on the gold and then get a nasty surprise in the middle with the core. This is the base that about a week ago you would have taken without any thought with Jal. But here we'll start with that free mana. There's really no anti-air defense over on that side to protect it. And we're going to come in as opposite as we can from the Insanity Tower. That's our biggest threat here. And with a Ancient like Amani, where you want to be using high-level spells several times, having a Mana Hunter in the mix is really very helpful. Okay, so we get some distraction in there, some lifesteal from Malice's breath. Get a little bit of a protection on them, and then start casting the Entangles. And we got a lot of mana here, so we'd be able to have multiple going at once, including shutting down the spell towers on this side that are causing problems. The troops are probably going to hit. Okay, good. The Entangle was able to keep us out of the Insanity. Should probably get that Fire Tower soon as well. I think we're going to get this one, and there we go. And again, the cleanup is very handy with that Entangle spell. So, Val, thanks for the attack, and pretty good base. But for Ancients that can make good use of high mana, probably need some more protection on the that bottom right corner. Okay, here's one that's hard difficulty in the arena. I'm Stronghold 13, by the way, and this is another 13, and another centralized core of the spell towers. I'm trying not to find bases that are super easy. I want to take on some decent bases, the types you would normally take on with a Jal or a Siku or a Taliesin. So to give a kind of a real test for Amani here. Alright, we're going to come in opposite the Insanity Tower again. We've got the Lifesteal Sweep from Malice, a little bit of Thorn Shield, but mostly the Entangle. And if the purple towers were a big worry for us, then we could use that third spell more, or if the healing was helpful, but really I think the first two spells are a lot more useful than the third one in most cases. Now most of the troops are dead, unfortunately, but we have taken out just about all of the anti-air, and there's the last one. So the fact that the Entangle does some damage as well, even if they wake up and escape its grip, they're going to be damaged, and that's very helpful as well. And just to round things out, we'll try a player versus player battle here. Going for a win streak 4, and we'll take whatever we get. And it's going to be another Stronghold 13 with a very tough core, a little bit more spread out. Again, the type of base that I would naturally hit with Jal. And one of the questions I'm getting most often in chat and in line is, are you still using Jal, or what ancient have you switched to? And my answer is usually, well, I'm still using him, he's still good, but I am experimenting with more ancients, so it's good to get to try ones like this now. The recent update and its effect on the freeze and the curse towers, the Insanity Towers, makes a lot more ancients more viable. You can't get your troops completely locked down, say, by a double Primus Conduit freeze tower anymore. Alright, so we'd be putting our troops down. We're going to spread them out because of the catapults and the spell towers. Should probably do a distracting sweep here pretty soon. They're taking a lot of splash damage, so we'll get a Thorn Shield on them. And now it is Entangle time. being able to kill off the buildings that you're hitting with the entangle is really important, because if you don't get the mana back, then you won't be able to cast it again and your troops are going to be just left defenseless. So you don't usually want to cast them on a building far away that you're not going to kill, although situationally, like on a flare tower or something, that might be quite useful. Alright, not sure if the troops will all make it, but we're in good shape to get the stronghold with the dragon here. And they may hold out. Again, that's where the entangle helps nicely. And there it goes. We'll shut those guys down. Alright, and there we go. Another base where normally you would say the spell towers were too tough for an ancient like this, but with the improvement in Amani, she held up very well. So let me know what you think of her, and thanks for watching.